Hello, in today's practice lab, we will do the following. We will configure SNMP community strings, and then we will configure standard and extended IPv4 access control lists to filter network traffic, and then I'll configure an IPv6 access control list to filter network traffic. The Simple Network Management Protocol, SNMP, is a necessary tool for every network administrator. You can easily configure it with just a few commands. SNMP is still the most popular way to monitor the performance of network devices, including Cisco routers and switches. SNMP works for sending messages called Protocol Data Units, PDUs, to devices within your network that speak SNMP. These messages are called SNMP GET requests. Using these requests, network administrators can track virtually any data values they specify. Now, on the description of this video, you will find two files to download: the packet tracer source files and the walkthrough document, so you can practice and do this lab on your own to help you pass your Cisco exams. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share this video on your Facebook page, and tell your friends about my channel. In the near future, I will be making more videos for the new Cisco exams. Now I will configure the routers. I will start with this router here. We will name it HQ router. Enable, configure terminal. We'll give it the host name HQ. Now on the interface of gig 00, IP address of 192.168.10.1 with the /24 subnet mask, and enable the port with no shut. And then on the interface of gig 01, IP address of 172, this interface here, 172.16.10.1 /24 subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and we have the IP version 6 we need to configure for this interface. So exit, how to configure it, IPv6 unicast routing. Now we will be able to configure the interface on gig 01 with IP version 6, IPv6 2001 colon DB8 colon ABCD colon A colon 1 /64. Sorry, IPv6 address. Sorry about that. Now, for the link local, IPv6 address FE80 colon 1 link local, and enable the port with no shut. Now for the interface of serial 00 here, interface serial 000, IP address of 209.165.200.226 with /30 subnet mask, and enable the port with no shut. And finally, on this router for the interface serial 001, IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 ABCD colon E colon 1 /64, IPv6 address for the link local FE80 1. This is for the link local, and enable the port with no shut. So we are done configuring the interfaces on the HQ router here, on the gig 01, on gig 00, on the serial 001 and the serial 000. Now I will configure the default static route on the HQ router. So the first static route here, exit IP route to any network with this subnet mask, any subnet mask on the next exit or the next hop. The exit interface for the next hop will be on 209.165.200. It will be this interface here, the next hop or this static route 200.225. Also another IPv6 static route to the branch network from here to this network on this side here. So I want to configure IPv6 route to 2001 colon DB8 ABCD B colon /64 for the network, and the next exit will be, or the next hop will be this interface on this with this IP address 2001 DB8 colon ABCD colon E colon 2. Now I will configure NAT for the HQ network here, and the public IP addresses we will configure. We will use two public IP addresses of 209.165.228/27 and 229. So on the HQ, IP NAT pool, I will call it or name it HQ and LAN to start the IP address of 209.165.200.228 to 209.165.200.229. That's two IP addresses, two public IP addresses with the net mask of 27, 255.255.255.224. Now IP NAT inside source list 1, I'll configure the list later. Pool, we named it HQ LAN, and not to forget this word overload. Now we will have the interfaces of gig 00. This will be the inside, and the serial 00 will be the outside. So interface gig 00, IP NAT inside, and the interface of serial 00, IP NAT for outside. Now I will configure the other router. So we are done with the HQ router. I configured the interfaces, and I configured the interfaces with IP version 4, IP version 6, and we configured the static and default routes on the router, and we also configured NAT, configured access control list later. Now we will move to the other router, ISP. Enable, configure terminal, and give it the host name of ISP. Now on the interface of serial 00, IP address of 209.165.200.225 with the /30 subnet mask 252, and enable the port with no shut. The other interface of serial 001, and with the IP address of 192.31. This interface here, 192.31.7.1 with /30 subnet mask, and enable the port with no shut, and the other interface of gig 00 with the IP address of 192.135.250.1 with /24 subnet mask, and enable the port with no shut. The other interface of gig 01, that's with the IP address of 192.51.1 with /24 subnet mask, and also enable the port with no shut. So we have all the four interfaces for the ISP router as being configured. And now I will configure a static route to the DMZ network. From here to this network, this is the DMZ network. So back to the ISP router, IP route 172.16.10.0 with /24 subnet mask, and the next hop will be this interface of 209.165.200.226. 209.165.200.226. Another static route to the NAT public IP addresses. IP route to, as we said, it is 209.165.200.224 /27 subnet mask of 255.255.255.224, and we will use this interface as the next hop on the serial 00/0. Also, another static route to the branch network. So we are from here to this branch network here. So command goes like this: IP route to 172.18.10.0 with /24 subnet mask, and the next hop will be on the 192.7.2. So this is, here will be the next hop to reach the branch network. Next, we configured everything for the ISP, what needed for now, the interfaces and the static routes. Now we will move to the branch router. Enable, configure terminal, hostname, branch. Now, because we will use IP version 4 and IP version 6 for the interfaces here, so we need to enable unicast routing. Simply typing IPv6 unicast routing. Now, on the interface of gig 00, IP address of 172.18.10.1 /24 subnet mask, and enable the port with no shut. Now, also on the same interface, we'll configure the IP version 6, IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 ABCD B::1/64, and for the link local IPv6 address of FE80 : 2 link local. And we enabled the port with no shut, but I'll do it again. Now for the interface of serial 000 with the IP address of 192.31. I'm used to type 192.168, so sorry about that. 192.31.7.2 with /30 subnet mask 255.255.255.252 and enable the port with no shut. The other interface of serial 001 with the IPv6 address of 2001 db8 abcd : E : 2/64 IPv6 address for the link local FE80 :2 link local and show IP interface brief, show run. I will just check the IP addresses, IP80 and the IP82 link local. So we configure the interfaces for the branch router. Now I will configure a default route on the branch router. So configure terminal IP route to any network with this subnet mask, and the next or the next hop will be on 192.31.7.1. From here, this will be its exit or its gateway or its next hop. Will be on 192.31.7.1. Also, I will configure an IP version 6 static route to the DMZ network from the branch here to this DMZ network, but this time it will be IP version 6, IPv6 route 2001 db8 abcd : A : because it is the whole network, just like that, 64, and the next hop or its gateway will be on the 2001 db8 abcd : E : 1. So this will be its exit, this interface, or its next hop or its gateway to reach the DMZ network. So hit enter. Now I will configure SNMP community strings on the HQ router. I will configure a read-only SNMP community string, name it string HQ-monitor. So back to the HQ router here, exit SNMP server community HQ-monitor, and we want it read only. And SNMP community, this I will configure it as read write a string HQ inside read write. So now configure the SNMP. Next, I will configure an access control list for NAT on the HQ router. Now I will configure on this router here, I will configure a standard access list numbered 1, give it number 1, to allow NAT for hosts in the network of 192 for this LAN here, for the HQ LAN, for the devices to be NATed. So in the HQ, access list, give it number 1. I will permit the network of 192.168.10.0 with the inverse subnet mask of 000.255 for the HQ LAN. This is a standard, the first one we configured. Then I will configure a standard access control list to restrict remote access to the HQ router. I will configure a standard access control list numbered 12, give it number 12 to restrict remote access to the HQ router. I will allow only the LAN admin to access the HQ router remotely via VTY. Only this guy here. So back to the HQ. Access list, give it number 12. We want to permit only the host. Here, something you need to put in mind. If you write the word host, you are specifying just one host. You don't need to type in the subnet mask. So here we are specifying only one host of 192.168.10.5, just the LAN admin. But if you don't write the word host, now you are prompted to enter the subnet mask. But we are specifying the word host and with enter. Now, all other remote connections should fail. Implicit deny. Now, I configure the access control list, but it needs to be applied on the VTY lines. So back here to the HQ router, we'll say line VTY, all 16 lines from 0 to 15. Access class 12 for the inbound exit. Now, I will configure 2 extended access control lists to restrict access to SNMP operation on the HQ router. I will configure an extended access control list. I will name the first one SNMP access, all caps. So back to the HQ router, IP access list extended, we call it SNMP access. Enter. Now, the SNMP operation runs UDP on port 161. I will allow only the LAN admin to access the HQ router for the SNMP connection. Only the LAN admin, which is in the HQ LAN. So the command goes like this. We want to permit UDP to the host, only one host on this IP address 192.168.10.5 to access what host we want here, to allow this host to access this host or this interface of 192.168.10.1. 192.168.10.1, and as we said, the UDP for SNMP on port number 161. Enter. So we are only allowing the LAN admin to do the work on the HQ router. Now, but the SNMP connections from other hosts on the HQ LAN should fail. We want to allow only one on that LAN to access the router for the SNMP operation, and all others will be denied access. So deny UDP if from any to host 192.168.10.1 equal to the port number of 161 for the SNMP. Enter. Now we are denying to access the SNMP operation on the router, but from the LAN they can go anywhere using IP. All other IP traffic we want to allow on the LAN. So the command goes like this. We want to permit IP from any device to anywhere. Enter. Next, we configure the access control list, but we want to apply this access control list to the HQ router. Where we want to apply it, we will apply it here on this interface of gig 00, and it is coming in to the router. So back to the HQ, interface gig 00, IP access group, SNMP access in the inbound. Now, next I will configure an extended access list named SNMP deny. I'll deny any hosts to make connections to SNMP on the HQ router. So IP access list, it's extended. We will name it, call it SNMP deny. Enter. We want to deny UDP from any device to the host. Which host? To the 172.16.10.1 equal 161 on the port 161 for the SNMP. Enter. But we will allow all other IP traffic. So the command goes like this. Permit IP from any host to anywhere. Enter. Now I will apply the access control list on the HQ router on the gig 01 interface. On the gig 01 on this interface here. So back to the HQ router. Interface gig 01, IP access group, SNMP deny, N. We don't want anything to come into the router from this interface. Next, I will configure an extended access control list to restrict access to the HQ LAN from the internet. I will configure an extended IPv4 access control list, and I'll call it or give it a name N2HQ. So back to the HQ, IP access list extended N2HQ. Enter. Now, I will allow any host from the internet to access the DMZ DNS. Any host from the internet to access the DMZ DNS here. Server. And there should be two access control entries, one for TCP and the other for UDP, and both protocols use port 53. So back to the HQ router, we want to permit TCP from any on the internet to the host of 172.16.10.5 because this is the IP address of our DMZ DNS server. And DNS used on TCP and UDP on port number 53. And the same, what did I do? Sorry about that. I want to permit TCP from any to the host of 172.16.10.5 on the port of 53, enter, and also permit UDP. I'll just use the up arrow and change the TCP here to UDP and just hit enter. Now I will allow any host from the internet to access the DMZ web server. Only port 80 is needed, because also we can use the secure, the 443, but what we need here in this example just for port 80. So the command goes like this: permit TCP from any to host 172.16.10.10, our web server on the DMZ on 10.10, and on the port number 80, which is for www, or here, TCP, enter. Next, I will allow return TCP traffic from the internet that was initiated from the host in the HQ LAN to pass with the established keyword. So you initiate the connection to the internet from this out, and now you want it back. So now permit TCP from any to any established. The keyword here is established, and hit enter. Next, I will apply the access control list to the HQ router on the interface of serial 000. So on interface serial 000, on this interface here, on the router, on the HQ router, and the command goes like this: IP access group N to HQ N, enter. We applied it here because this is going into the router. So I will check something here, because I can see here this is still red, not enabled on the HQ router. Show IP interface brief, showing us the interfaces are up, and let me do it on the branch. Enable show IP interface brief. Interface configure terminal interface as 001, no shut. Now it wasn't enabled, so now it's enabled. And I'll do the same on the branch, and interface of 001. Before that, configure terminal 01, no shut, because I noticed that they were still red here. Now next I will configure an extended access control list to restrict access to the DMZ network. I configure an extended access control list to restrict access to the DMZ network. I will configure an extended IP version 4 access control list named N-DMZ. So on the HQ router here, configure terminal, IP access list extended. As we said, we want to name it N-DMZ, enter. I will allow any host to access the DMZ DNS server and there should be two access control entries, one for TCP and the other for UDP. Both use port 53. So I will permit TCP from any to the host of 172.16.10.5 on the port of 53 for DNS, and the other one for UDP, the up arrow, and just delete this, TCP, type UDP, and hit enter. Next, I will allow any host to access the DMZ web server. Only port 80 is needed. The command goes like this: permit TCP from any to the host of 172.16.10.10 equal to port 80. I will allow only the HQ admin to have FTP access to the DMZ web server. There should be two access control entries for port 20 and 21 because FTP uses two ports, port 20 and 21. The command goes like this: permit TCP from the host of 192.168.10.5 to the host of 172.16.10.10 equal to port 20 and 21. Just the up arrow and type in 21. Enter. We are allowing only one host. Next, I will apply the access control list to the HQ router on the gig01 interface. So on gig01 interface, IP access group n-dmz out. Next, I will configure IPv6 access control list to restrict access to the DMZ network from the branch LAN. From the branch LAN to the DMZ. I will configure an IPv6 access control list. I will name it DMZ FTP. So on the HQ router, IPv6 access list, DMZ FTP. I will deny any host in the branch network to access the SNMP operation on the HQ router. So the command goes like this: deny UDP from any to the host of 2001 DB8 ABCD colon E colon 1 equal 161. Next, I will allow only the branch admin to have FTP access to the DMZ web server. There should be two access control list entries for port 20 and 21. Only this guy here, the branch admin. So back to the HQ router. Permit TCP host 2001 colon DB8 ABCD B colon 5 to the host of 2001 colon DB8 ABCD A colon 10 equal 20, and also use the up arrow for the other port for the FTP, which is a 21, and enter. Next, I will allow any host in the branch LAN to access the DMZ web server. Only port 80 is needed. So the command goes like this: permit TCP 2001 colon db8 colon abcd b colon dash 64 to the host of 2001 db8 abcd a colon 10 and the port 80. Now I will apply the access control list to the HQ router on the serial 001 interface. So interface of serial 001 IPv6 traffic filter DMZ FTP and the inbound. And there is an implicit deny for any. Now it's time for the tests. Now the LAN admin or the HQ admin can access FTP service on the MZ web server. So the LAN admin PC here, desktop, on the command prompt, on the FTP of 172.16.10.10, the username of Cisco, and the password of Cisco. So it was a successful. But the LAN user here cannot access FTP service on the MZ web server because we did not give him the permission. So FTP 172.16.10.10 and it will fail, as you can see. But here branch admin can access FTP service on the MZ web server with its IP version 6 address. So we have this guy here, the LAN admin here failed, but the branch admin here should be able to using IP version 6. So type the command FTP to 2001 db8 abcd a10, the username of Cisco and the password of Cisco. I did a mistake with the Cisco and the password of Cisco, so it was a success. Branch user cannot access FTP service on the MZ web server. So we'll go to the user here on the command prompt and we'll try to FTP to 2001 db8 abcd a. It will fail because we did not give it permission. So now the LAN admin, this guy here, the LAN admin and the LAN user and the external PC can access the DMZ web server with URL www.hq.com. So this guy here, and the external PC can access the HQ web server. So on web browser, www.hq.com. It should be a success. taking a little time, unless I did something wrong with the configuration, because it was a lot of things to cover. I'll try the LAN admin on the web browser, www.hq.com. And it is working. So as you can see, we covered a lot in this lab, in this practice lab. Please download the packet tracer source files and also the walkthrough document, and just follow the walkthrough step by step until you do the configuration. And also, because you configured LAN here, NAT, just type in the command show IP NAT translations. Also, it will show you when you ping around, anything goes to the DMZ LAN here or from this HQ LAN. And there are a lot to cover. Just be patient and be careful while doing the configuration, and run whatever show commands you can run to learn and to know more. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, because I'll be working on anything new for the Cisco exam. Just send me suggestions, anything you want me to cover, and I will gladly do it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a nice day.